What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, and I am so excited to bring to you our top Pokemon card auctions of the week. This was a very, very intriguing week for both modern and vintage and sealed. Just a lot to go over, tons of auctions, so I hope you got some time to spare because you're going to see a bunch of very interesting auctions that occurred this past week. We'll be reviewing sales from the newest set, Astral Radiance, along with a bunch of other sellers that are unloading their entire collection. You know, the entire first edition PSA 10 fossil set, the entire PSA 10 first edition jungle set, their entire PSA 10 first edition holo Neo Destiny set. There are a ton of people offloading their collections, so we're going to see what kind of price points they hit this week. Before we get started, please let me give you my spiel. Give this video a like. Don't forget to be a subscriber if you're not already, and use my eBay affiliate link below to support the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, folks, I gotta jump right into this because we have a ton of auctions to go over, starting with the newest set, Astral Radiance. We saw a couple of the English raw cards come by. Now, I did a separate video on this set with the top 10 most expensive raw cards, so I recommend you go check that out. If you want to see the prices of the other cards, I will link it in the description below. But let's start out here with this Garchomp V alternate artwork card that sold at one point for $127.50, and then 3 days later it sold for $59, effectively cutting the price of that card in half in a matter of a couple days. We also saw a very recent sale of this alternate art Machamp V that sold for $83 in auction, and then we saw this Machamp V Max Rainbow Rare that sold for $48 in auction. A couple of the Japanese versions of this card, you get a CGC 10 Pristine Machamp V that sold for $184, and then a Japanese Origin Form Palkia V that sold as a CGC 10 as well for $162.50. A couple of notable sales from Brilliant Stars. We had a Rainbow Rare Arceus V-Star sell for $122. The Secret Rare Arceus V-Star sold as a PSA 10 for $105 this week. And then we saw a Galarian Moltres V sell as a PSA 10 for only $95. And a Galarian Articuno V Gold Secret Rare card that sold for $127. A Rainbow Rare Charizard V-Star sold for $405. And then we had the Charizard V alternate art that sold from this set for $520. And I wanted to make mention of this Gyarados holo from Dragon's Majesty. You don't see very many regular holo modern cards graded, but this one got a PSA 10 and sold for $92 this week, so I wanted to touch on that. All right, now to the ugly business of oversaturation of PSA 10 cards, especially in modern sets. The break cards from Evolution set aged like milk. Unfortunately, we saw some pretty lackluster prices. We saw a Ninetales break in PSA 10 sell for only $28. The Nidoking break sold for $25, and the Machamp break sold for $36. So, not very pleasant prices there. I'm not just picking on break cards, though. The Amazing Rares took a hit this week, specifically from Vivid Voltage. We saw a Raikou in PSA 10 sell for $26. A Jirachi also sold for $26. And a Celebi Amazing Rare sold for $36. So, yeah, it's just a matter of saturation. These break cards, these Amazing Rares, at least like I said for Vivid Voltage, are just so heavily graded, so easy to pull from Vivid Voltage booster packs that they're great cards, but they're just not there as far as value goes. All right, a few of the miscellaneous interesting modern cards. Here is a Rainbow Rare Mimikyu GX from Lost Thunder that sold as a PSA 10 for $135. We got this full art Wick trainer from Burning Shadows that sold for $222. So Wick is pretty expensive this week. From Team Up Set, we have this Magikarp and Wailord GX in PSA 10 that sold for $182. And then here is a Charizard V Secret Rare card from Champion's Path, PSA 10. There's got to be at least 7,000 to 8,000 PSA 10 examples of this card, and it's still selling for $336. And I must say, the popularity of this card just absolutely trumps the sheer population of it. Something that only Charizard could really do, or Pikachu, or Pokemon of that caliber. So yeah, that's crazy to me that there's just so many PSA 10s of this card and it still goes for hundreds of dollars. From the McDonald's collection, we saw a holographic Pikachu in PSA 10 sell this week for $132.50. And then here we saw a Gold Star Greninja from Celebration set. This is the Elite Trainer Box Black Star promo. Sold as a PSA 10 for only $127. So this card has come down quite a bit for PSA 10s. Yeah, it used to go for like $200 not that long ago. Now down to $127. And also from Celebrations, we saw a Surfing Pikachu V in PSA 10 that sold for $150. In the title, it says only 16 PSA 10 examples. That is not true. When I looked this up, there's actually 20 PSA 10 copies, but whatever. And then from the Classic Collection, we saw a holographic Charizard in PSA 10. Finally broke 300. You know, below 300. This card sold for $290 this week. I wasn't sure it would ever go for below $300, even though, once again, there are so many PSA 10 examples. This card's still selling for hundreds of dollars this week, $290. Charizard finally showing a little bit of weakness from the Classic Collection. But a lineup that is not suffering seems to be Evolutions, specifically from Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike. Here's a Leafeon VMAX that sold for $310 this week. The Espeon VMAX sold for $320. The Sylveon VMAX sold for $345. And then here we have a Japanese Umbreon VMAX that sold for a whopping $1,185. And then we have several Black Label cards I wanted to go over. Here is a Black Label 2013 Clear Card Eveltal that sold for $308. And then a Black Label Clear Card Darkrai that sold for $560 this week. Here is a Mario Pikachu BGS 10 Black Label Jack of Hearts that sold for $1,525. And then the King of Hearts sold for $1,550 this week. And then here we have a Pikachu Stamp Box promo card that sold as a BGS 10 Black Label for $2,850. All right, on to the vintage portion. We had a seller offload pretty much all of the holos and shining cards from Neo Destiny set. Let's see what kind of prices they hit. Here is a first edition Dark Ampharos holo that sold for $760. The Dark Crobat sold for $750. Dark Dawn Fan, $705 this week. And the beautiful Dark Espeon first edition holo sold for $5,300. Effectively making this card the most expensive holo card from Neo Destiny set. Shining cards aside. We had a Dark Feraligatr sell for $910, and the Dark Gengar sold for $1,176. A Dark Houndoom First Edition sold for $884, while a Dark Porygon 2 sold for $817. The Dark Typhlosion First Edition sold for $1,025, and the Dark Tyranitar sold for a staggering $2,500 this week. A first edition Light Arcanine in PSA 10 sold for $3,015, and the Light Azumarill first edition sold for $610. Probably the least valuable holo from this set. A Light Dragonite first edition sold for $1,560, and the Light Togetic first edition sold for $2,750. And we had a Miracle Energy PSA 10 first edition sell for $738. So the only card missing from that lot, I believe, was Dark Scizor. Obviously didn't have that one to sell. But on to the Shining cards. We have a Shining Celebi here that sold for $1,850. The Shining Kabutops, $1,575. The Shining Noctowl, $1,625. Shining Steelix, $1,725. Shining Mewtwo, now this is from a different seller, that sold this week for $3,750. The Shining Raichu sold for $3,800. Shining Tyranitar, $4,800. And the Shining Charizard sold for an even $13,000. So the seller of all these Neo Destiny cards got quite a payday. Some more vintage cards to go over here is a Dark Charizard from Team Rocket set first edition, sold for $4,827 this week. The Misty's Golduck from Gym Challenge first edition sold for $3,050. And a PSA 10 Unlimited base set Charizard sold for $8,580, which is the lowest price I've seen this card sell for in quite a while. And lastly, for our cards on eBay, we had this Gold Star Mew from EX Dragon Frontiers that in PSA 10 sold for $8,100 this week. Only a couple booster boxes I've seen come by. Here is a first edition Gym Challenge box that sold sealed for $11,600. And then a Fire Red Leaf Green booster box sold for $17,600. On to the PWCC weekly and monthly auction recap. Here is a Japanese promo Mystery Pearl card that sold for $8,700. And then this BGS 9.5 blueback no number Charizard card sold for $18,600 this week. And then in the PWCC monthly auction, we saw a bunch of insane lots. Here is a complete set of the Aquapolis and Skyridge Japanese crystal cards that sold for an even $30,000. We saw the complete 64 card lot of jungle cards that sold for $34,200. All of the cards, first edition, all PSA 10s. And the same here with this fossil lot. We had all 62 fossil cards in PSA 10 sell for $25,200. Here's the Daisuke Club 8600 point Master Scroll promo that sold for an even $18,000 as a PSA 10. And then we saw a PSA 9 Tropical Wind Trophy card that sold for $43,200. And then to finish off the auction recap, we had 5 first edition PSA 10 base set holos that sold. We had this first edition Chansey sell for $34,800. We had a PSA 10 first edition Mewtwo holo sell for $14,400. And then the big 3 came by. Here is a PSA 10 first edition Venusaur that sold for $18,000 even. The Blastoise sold for $30,000 even. And then this is our auction of the week. It's the first edition PSA 10 base set Charizard that really fell in price this week. It sold for $264,000 as a PSA 10 example, and a strong one at that. I was looking at this card, very well centered on the front and back. The edges look very nice. The holo is pristine. I saw a little video of the person from PWCC showcasing it. It looked great, and it sold for $264,000. This card has been all over the place. I believe the last sale I saw was for like over $400,000, down to $264,000. What do y'all think of that? Whew! Boy, oh boy, that was a ton of auctions. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Give it a like on your way out. Leave a comment below telling me what you thought, and I will see you in my next one.